is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody out there as well. Hope you guys have a good day, especially if you got kids. If you don't, then just try to give them some candy when they come up to the door. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. But I hope you guys have a great time today. But yeah. Microsoft Meta reports earnings and they get a little clobbered on earnings. The rest of the market feeling a little bit weak, a little bit to the heavy side today. I need something to pick me up. I got it. I got it. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. We got Anna. Good morning. Good morning to Bill, Brad, Cheryl. Good morning to Sydney, Corey. We got Frank, George, Jay, Jeff, Joanne. Good morning. We got John, JT, Lucian in the house. Good morning to Marius, Martina, Rick, Rob, Shane, Tim, the squad piling in. Good morning to all you guys out in YouTube land. We got Fitz. Good morning to you. We got Joe, M. Sky, David Cook speaks. Good morning. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're sitting there on YouTube and you're not going to comment. That's okay. I still love you, but make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, a little bit heavy. Not a great open for the markets. It is a retest gap coming in from yesterday. Maybe we could look for a little bit of a fade. Otherwise, the fact that we're breaking down this candle from October 23rd, we're still in it. So that's not bad. It's not horrible. Not horrible. But we are breaking through this VPOC somewhere around 577.36. Really wanted that one to hold. Today we're showing we're weaker than that. So that means realistically, anybody who was going bullish or getting bullish positions, obviously individual companies might be a little different, but you were buying the SPY at least, or generally in the market, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days, 14 days, and then this one over here too, technically. So we'll stick with 14. So debatable on 15, but yeah, you're a little bit trapped in the bullish direction. We're now opening under the 20. Is this the end of the market? I don't know. I don't think so. We haven't had a pullback in a while though, so we kind of make a little sense. Support on this one, and it's a strong one. 575.57. If you're a bull, you better come in and start trying to protect that. The next one down, we have a lot of room down into the 571.93. Did we break any of the uptrends? That would be a curious question. Did we break any uptrends quite yet? We kind of did. Not today. But our first close underneath that line was October 23rd. That's the day we're trying to defend. We had if that was our kind of diagonal support, we broke it. We actually retested it on the 25th. It might be a good day to buy some puts. It might be a good day to buy some puts. Question is where, and again, can we snake out of this with maybe some more earnings next week, the presidential election, just rando news that comes out, peace treaties. Anything is obviously possible, but on a technical basis, that kind of looks like your ABC. So I think if we get into the 577.40 range, that might be a good spot to look for some kind of a get some protection, and then maybe into the 580.40 zone. So couple of things, couple of things on a technical basis that makes me a little bit more nervous in the bullish direction than I was probably a few days ago. But yeah, a little bit of a retest. I think this one today for a day trade, I think we might get bought up. This is interesting though. Let's see if we can get bought up. The first stop, I want to see kind of us break through. Resistance is going to come in 577.47. The next one might be the better spot if you get there, just better risk reward. But 579.48 in a bullish direction. We already covered the lower end. If we break through that, we have a little bit more room to the downside. And then we could probably start drawing some fibs in terms of pullbacks if we're going to get them. So pretty interesting breakdown, retest, and we might continue a little bit lower. For today, it doesn't mean we're dropping. We're already gapping down. So we will see. I'm gonna start looking at protection though. Uh, and probably I'll lose on the protection. I'm just gonna say that I'll probably lose on any of the puts I get. We just scream out of here and go completely bullish for the next 2 months. It's not unheard of. I would rather lose on the protection than have the entire market come down. So we'll see. See how the Qs are hanging out. Q's still above the 20. So okay, hope is not lost yet. Mm, not lost yet. Right where the 20 is, slightly under it, I guess, is our support 491.56. Again, not this one's Q's is not as bad as Spy. Spy looks a little bit to the worst side of things. To the higher side, I think I'd be looking for this probably 494.51 for the retest. We go a little bit crazier, 495.91. It is a retest gap, so again, short out of the gate. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to lean completely short out of the gate. Probably look for that fade and then maybe afternoon rollover. We kind of roll back later. But we'll see how this market actually wants to open. I want that better risk to reward into the bull side. I mean to the bear side. As close as possible. And then we do have a retest. If we manage to get up here, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, but if we could get back to this 497.15, that would be a pretty amazing spot just in terms of risk reward on the Qs if you want to get some coverage to the downside. Interesting. Let me know what tickers you guys got, what you guys want to take a look at. Um, might as well take a look at Microsoft first. So Microsoft came out, they beat 6.42% to the higher side on earnings per share. They did come in with they only beat the estimates by a billion. 1 billion with a B. But kind of selling. Again, so my issue with, and I've said this, just kind of even comparing Palantir and Palantir is pretty highly priced too, so I'm kind of nervous going into that earnings as well. But Microsoft is a stable company. If you have money to invest, your safer play is Microsoft than Palantir even today, and Palantir is making money. But you're not going. I don't see a Microsoft going bankrupt. Palantir still kind of early. I'd still say it's in the early innings, but Palantir is growing 20, 30, 25% year over year. Microsoft is like 3% year over year, so it's a very safe play. But that being said, when you're looking at buying Microsoft for an investment, you're sitting at close to all-time highs. It's not based off of what they're doing now, it's based off of what they're doing in the future. And you're coming in with good numbers, good beats, but your growth is not it's very hard to grow. It's not their fault. It's just they're massive. It's very hard to grow once you get to a certain level, where again it's safe money. You'll still probably yield some returns, and this thing probably will go higher over time. But it's very very tough going into earnings, and you have to throw out some of those previous, and not even the last Nvidia report was that amazing, but any of the Nvidia reports before it were just like, oh man, this thing could still keep growing like crazy. So we'll see what happens. But Microsoft is down a little bit into a tiny little bit of support. I kind of wish we held a little bit higher. We're at the almost very low end of that support. I would have loved to see 417.70 holds. You do have a retracement gap from yesterday. So again, they got kind of pushed up, but the rest of the market faded. They closed at a fairly decent location to close at, right into that support. And then just with the earnings, could not hold it. We've broken through a bunch of levels. So we have a little bit of consolidation down here from early October. Maybe we could hold that. Otherwise, you got your 200 sitting at 411.29. I don't even really want to see it get down to that 200. I really want to take a look at this 414.32. So if we come a little bit lower, we have some kind of a flash. We've already gotten there on so this would be the second retracement into it, but October 21st, we've already kind of run into this level for the retest. I would say this is the candle you want to see hold. Obviously, probably some support might come in around that 200. We're starting to see a couple things, AMD specifically, break that 200. And then again, that could cause a little bit of a deeper sell. in the future for for some of those companies if they can't not reclaim it. But a little bit probably chop here. I think I would lean toward the fade. It's down a lot. It is Microsoft. You might have some people trying to step in for this buy. Otherwise, and we did get held here a lot. I don't know if I would expect a huge move in a bullish direction, and that might prohibit me from taking a trade. 417.82 is going to be a big one. And then I think if you could get your stretch goal today, you're probably looking at like 420.37 on a rebound. So we'll see a little bit of chop, but we'll get this one high on the list. Probably will be active today. Let's take a look at Meta and then Peloton as well. I want to pull up. I know, Peloton. Meta. Meta is also a little bit of a retest gap. This one I think is still a little bit more short. I think I'd rather actually short Meta today. Probably not right out of the gate, but this one at least has a little bit more room, I think, to the downside. If we get the full on sell, we're looking at 478.29. Again, it is a retest, but not really. That yesterday's candle was the retest. So I think maybe some bulls possibly still trapped. I think we got some profit taking yesterday. Now you got anybody in this candle starting to lose. Let's see if you get bought up. Let's try to short this one much higher. 588.88. We'll see if that one could trigger. I'll send a little clapping alert on that one if we get up there. Shorts. Otherwise, maybe we don't hit that spot. The other spot you could look at is essentially right at open, somewhere around 585.54. Depending, we still got 16 minutes left, so we'll see what happens. But somewhere around this 585.54, if you're a little more aggressive, want to hop in sooner. I think if we could get into the VPOC from this candle from 2 days ago, I think that would be a spot where anybody who took that breakout could now kind of escape and some shorts come in. So that'd be my spot where I'd want to be patient, try to wait for. Peloton, and then I see some of your tickers come in, so we'll take a look at that one. Peloton's also up like 26% too. I know you guys talking Roblox. They did come in with a miss. So they missed on earnings per share. They came in with a little surprise side of 13 million, but they do have a new CEO. So it's one of those CEO stories. High short float on Peloton. So let's see. Finviz, PTON. So for a quick day trade, you might have some shorts on the wrong side of this one that might have to get out. I can't even get rid of that ad. There we go. All right. Now it worked. But 18% short float. It was 22 at one point. We have a decent amount more room to go before we really get into some volume. That could take us up to like $9. So I think there's some more room on this one. I don't know if the new CEO is going to do much to help Peloton. There was also some rumors of some buyouts potentially at some point. That'd be quite the job the CEO does. He comes in and then 2 days later he just sells the company. He's like, takes his paycheck, goes home. He's like, that's it. But good short float on this one. I think we got to watch this one. See if we get a high wave candle out of the gate, something like that. It's got a little bit more room to it. $1.07 is a decent amount of space to push on a $8 stock. So we will see. Big pop on SPY, only on TOS. They're trading a whole different market today, I guess. Roblox. Blow. Nice gap up on this one. They beat by 4%, 399, 399. And then they beat by revenue 10%, so not bad. They did have some concerns for a while. And that's one heck of a day. One heck of a gap up on Roblox. Kids are still playing. Apparently adults are too. That was the last story. That's the problem. Let's see. Risk on mentality may be back for a little while. On Roblox, yes. So far, the ones that have been moving is not the big tech stocks. We looked at Meta, we looked at Microsoft, we got clobbered on AMD. Who the heck knows what's happening with SMCI? Tesla did have a good pop, so that's a kind of outlier. But for the most part, all the big tech companies, that already ran up, not doing that great. But the Roblox, the Pelotons, sneaking in there. So I don't know if it's generally for the entire market, that risk on mentality. And again, we've seen this back and forth, and that's a good point, Lucian, but we've seen this before. We're still not really exiting the market. We're just trying to find other sectors that we could rotate money in. So right now you're getting some of those smaller companies that are getting that push. Roblox probably has a high short float as well. So we're still playing that just where could I put my money, but not saying that we think the economy is crashing. Not yet. We don't seem to have any real concern about any new presidency. Short float 6.38. So Roblox doesn't have as much short float as Peloton, but that is quite the gap on it. I don't know. That is massive to play bullish out of the gate, but that looks like one heck of a gap. I don't think I see really much resistance on this one until we're pretty much into the resistance. I think the next spot, 54.32, we start breaking into that. We got a lot of room. So 54.32. I might have to look for a fade on this one if it go a tad higher. So again, give me a pop out of the gate. 6% short flow is not bad. I mean, it's got some, that's got some room. We are maybe trapping a decent amount of bears in here. I would also be concerned. There's also some buyers coming in here, stepping in on Roblox toward the lows, and you're profitable out of the gate. I might look at this one for a fade, and then I'm maybe stick with Peloton for a long potentially. Root. There's always time for you, Corey. Always time. Root with a massive gap. That's only like 100%. How nobody else bring up Root? Hey. Well, that would do it. Earnings per share beat 245%. Who sandbagged these estimates? And then they came with a surprise beat of 32.9 million, which is a lot of money. But that does not overshadow the 245% earnings per share beat. That's wild. Let me see Roots short float real quick. 20%, massive. I think this one has the ability to keep going. You got that's burning some shorts. My goodness. My goodness. We got rejected at these levels a few times before. So that's my only caveat to this one. But big short float. The biggest one we've seen so far today at 100% pop overnight. Really good earnings to kind of back the pop up. Yeah, biggest concern. This is the third time, I guess, now we've gotten up to these levels and we've been just pushed down. 100% gains in this type of market. I think if I was in it and I got that 100% move, I'd probably sell it. That's a 100% overnight. It's one heck of a trade. I guess our last resistance on this one is 81.78. So if it starts breaking that, we do have a lot more room to go. We got a lot higher room to go. I don't know what this one's gonna do. This one's wild. I don't know what this one's gonna do at open. We have a ton of room on this one. Probably due to there was a stock split at some point. It's got a lot of room on it. I'd watch this one for a swing trade too. I kind of want this one to pull back. That's definitely going on the list. How 30 million beat on revenue equate to $1.44 beat on estimates per share? I guess they were looking to lose money per share. Not only did they not lose money, they actually made money for their. So yeah, they were expecting losses and they flipped a profit. All right, Palantir. Yep, I see a couple people looking for Palantir. We'll take a look at that one. Yesterday kind of did have a little breakdown. Today, nice little gap down as well. You got earnings right around the corner of a stock that has just moved like absolute beast mode. Again, I would be concerned running into earnings on this one. I think they have a great quarter. Is it going to be worth the move that has already happened? Is this all priced in and probably a little over push? I think so. I'm in it. I'm not selling. But that is a little bit of a decent breakdown. You are at support. You are at the 20. I think this one probably fades higher. I'm not sure if we could get to yesterday's VPOC. That would be my target though. That's 43.83. And then you got a little bit of other resistance, big level, $43.10. Obviously, this one could go wild in pretty much either direction, but now you have really 3 trading days if you want to count today until those earnings come out. I would be terrified of those earnings. It doesn't mean it's going to go down. We've seen this market do some crazy, crazy things. However, this is a fantastic, fantastic quarter that does not seem realistic whatsoever. And I do like the company. But yeah, gapping down. I think this one fades. I think if you want to try to get some protection on this one into earnings, see if you get close to like that 43.89 zone for some puts if you have it, just to protect yourself in case there's a big massive move down, something to that effect. MU Micron below the 200 EMA. First earning they made money. Yeah, that the first earning they made money, but the reaction after it probably a little extended. We'll see what happens. I don't know. MU is below that 200. Not great. It is a retest gap. I think that 200 should mark some kind of resistance for this one, even before the you're opening. I guess you're opening right into a little bit of support. This is also a retest. Bigger targets on this one, if we could get back above that 200, would be taking us into 103.86. So we have a little bit of room on this one. I don't know how easy that trade is. I think I don't know if I want to short this one either. I think I'd almost want to lean to the short side on it after it pops. Oh, give me something crazy, I think. Give me something like 104.40 for a short, just because then I'd have to get back through that 200. So right now we're kind of dancing around that 200. If we pop into that 200 and we get a setup, so somewhere around this 103 zone, 102.99, if we get a reversal hammer, something I could get an intraday good risk reward, I think it's worth a shot to try to play the fade there, even if we're not at this 103.80. Otherwise, if we start getting through that 200, your better opportunity for a short, I think, is somewhere around 104.26. You do have this gap fill all the way down back to $95. So right now we're not really at risk of closing that gap. Bigger targets to the downside would probably take us to this $99.96. That could cause some kind of double bottom. We pop up. If we don't, then I think we have that gap fill. So we'll see on this one. Otherwise, not a great close yesterday. It was okay. We still closed pretty much right at where we got the bounce off that last little support. And today we're breaking under. So a little bit weaker, but see if this one fades first. Let's see. Santilla says SMCI going to 0. Maybe. We got $30.61 to find out. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a highly anticipated, and I don't know if this is okay. So they finally put out their earnings date, November 5th, so Tuesday, out of the gate. This is either going to be a very either way, it's going to be a very important earnings report that they have. And then once the earnings get digested and you start to understand if this company is making money or not making money or where they're sitting, then you can take that information, throw it in the garbage. None of that is going to matter. The only thing that's going to matter at this point is what they say on that conference call of why there's so much shady activity happening and why there's so much concern in regards to the accounting practices, why your auditors are just quitting. That's where this thing's going to get its real pop from. If they are able to discuss that, get through it, give some valid reasons as to what's happening, reassure everybody this thing will not be hitting zero. Even it is very, very hard for a company to hit zero regardless. But if they cannot really clarify anything and they just kind of kick the can down the road and put it off for a little bit, and we still have questions at the end of the conference call, there's a lot of room down to $9.64. We'll call it $10. So this one, it might not be done selling, but it's going to be a matter of, and the fact they have not put out anything yet after the auditor quits, after the initial Hindenburg report. They did put out a statement after the Hindenburg, but it was like, oh, we should probably check into that. Let's see what's happening. What? No, that's not the right answer. You do not win $1 million. Sorry. But yeah, this is some trouble. Can we get a bounce? We got some volume coming in here. There's going to be some people that would like to take this risk. It's a big risk. If you want to take it, I don't know if it's the right place, but for today at open, and again, there's a lot of concern on it, but this is a big retest gap into 33. Maybe we could get that push. There's a lot of fear. I think fear, but I think uncertainty and confusion is what's going on with SMCI. So we'll see. A little straddle, maybe good play over earnings. It's possible. It's going to get a big. I think those earnings are going to be a big move regardless. NCLH. What direction? I don't know. Norwegian gapping up. Did you guys know? I didn't know this. Found out yesterday, but RCL, Royal Caribbean, has been the 5th best performing stock of 2024. And that's kind of wild. The cruise ship line is that strong. Norwegian is doing okay for the year. It's not horrible. Let's see, January, somewhere in the zone, wherever we're at. But yeah, nice little gap up. Also beat on earnings, so people are cruising again. I remember during 2020, during COVID 2020, cruise lines borrowing money hand over fist. Nobody ever was going back on a cruise. Americans are resistant. They're resistant. I guess everyone got the shots, so we good now. We good. But let's see. They beat on 5% earnings per share. We beat 39 million on the revenue side of things. So not bad on earnings. You have a little bit of resistance, I think, coming in around 25.61. I would want to see if there's a little pullback on this one first. See if you get in closer to this 24.50 if you want to lean bullish. Otherwise, that is but everybody on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Be safe. It is Halloween. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch all of you guys tomorrow.